Out here in the desert, man, anything's possible. That's why I moved out here. You gotta free your mind.
Okay.
If you know me, you know I have a certain way of working with others and introducing them to the nonsense in my head. Johnny's a good friend and a longtime fraternizer of the crazy. Super creative, always fun to work with. And I got this project that is right up his alley. I don't actually know what we're building yet, but I got some ideas. So this might look familiar to you.
Yes.
But it's not what you think it is.
It's a bug. What do you mean it's not what I think it is?
But it's not a bug.
It's not a bug? That looks like a bug to me.
Yes, but it's not gonna be. You kind of have a take on things like no one I've ever worked with. You got that unique cartoon brain. So this is just a start. I don't want it to be a bug. I want it to be some custom cartoon hot rod. We played twice with Volkswagens.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a little different.
Okay.
I want supercalifragilistic expialidocious. That's what I'm looking for this time.
Okay.
Of course, I have some things in mind, but I don't want to reveal all my cards just yet. I want to get Johnny thinking. We've been around the block a few times. I'm looking for new territory, but it's got to start somewhere. And I know I want this windshield down low, like maxed out. Like when you see this thing coming down the road, you're like,
dang, what is that?
Or what's wrong with that guy? And I got a bunch of saw blades. Let's get to it.
I gotta say, it's pretty darn satisfying to be cutting that up.
You know what the hard part is?
Putting it back together?
Exactly. You got $1? You got any money?
What do you want $1 for?
Dollar bill, yo.
I got a 5.
That works for me. Thanks. See the man at the door. I'll show you the
It's the oldest magician trick in the book.
I want to make the windshield the old dollar bill trick. That much.
Okay.
I don't know where the dollar bill windshield size ever came from, but I can only think that I heard of it at some car show. The old guys talking about a chop. Man, that was so radical. His windshield was smaller than a dollar bill. You got a dollar bill size windshield, right? Somewhere in that direction. It's pretty interesting to look out of. You're not seeing a lot. You go smaller than that. That's where I want to be. That's pretty substantial chop. That's not messing around.
I mean, it looks freaking cool.
I think I want to see it with the mystery element, the thing you weren't expecting.
Okay, what is that?
Aha!
What is that?
It's a shower stall.
Looks like an amusement park ride.
I really like to fill my collaborators with confusion and deprive them of the common sense methods of car fabrication.
What is this thing again?
I don't know, it's out in the desert. It's got charisma, right?
It could be something.
It's a fine piece of fiberglass, is it not?
This is the classic thing that Ian does. He'll bring in some weird thing and go, hey, Johnny, what are we doing with this?
I'll rotate the top forward.
Okay. Part of me was kind of hoping for another bubble. Bubbles are cool. That isn't cool, at least from what I can tell.
What's with all the chuckling? I'm serious now.
No, I'm just saying this is, yeah.
What part of this don't you understand?
Oh, man. It's either, yeah. Why should I have thought anything else would happen? This is, okay. Let's see, what are we doing?
Yeah, baby, yeah. So now sit back and look at this. Does it look like a bug anymore?
No.
Oh no, soldier down. We're losing Johnny. I better reel him back before we veer too far off course. Here, this might sweeten the deal a little. These are a little bigger than the stock bug rims.
Yeah. Those are fatties.
I said it before, I said it a million times. There's nothing like the wheel and tire combo to shine that guiding light on any project.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Maybe.
We're stacking parts, it's starting to have a feeling.
Fenderless, I like the wide tire. Or are we doing fenders?
We're 3 steps into this. I already fleeced you for $5. Let's not rush things.
It's very true.
We still got to change everything.
Right.
But other than that, we're on a pretty good course. Ladies and gentlemen, we've taken the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles. Next stop, Envisioning Central. That's our windshield, sir.
I think it looks perfect.
The windshield height is pretty much where we're at. So just getting that in place, do we like that front view? All right, let's move on. The big benefit of fiberglass in this project is we're going to be able to build, cut back, without ever actually having like a final surface represented for just about till the end of the project. So just envisioning all the time. And I love the wedge chop in the door frame now.
Right?
We'll jig it up, we can glass it right there. And once it's one piece again, we can always shift it a little bit more. But I see a couple big hurdles to jump with the back of this car. This is pretty complex. Let me cut a few strips of metal and then we'll clamp this.
Okay.
This is where this design will depart from that 30s styling, which was very sensible, you know, very glamorous. We have all of these shapes that have been formed. We're moving them around and they're gonna have to be reoriented. The way that the tires will be arranged with the fender lip. This is going into that edgy, weird, like definitely looking forward from the 1930s. Interesting how messy that all looks. To create this armature, like the old suit of armor with the faceted panels, the whole idea is creating a compound curve in the simplest terms. That way we can lay this fiberglass on and keep it suspended while it cures. Another fine mess you've gotten us into, Johnny.
Dude.
That is substantial. That's a 6-inch wider fender.
When you started doing it, I'm like, what do you, I don't, how's it gonna work?
Interesting. What you can do with some foil tape, an old fender, 500,000 screws, and some spray paint. I want to do all the fiberglass in the same realm, you know, the same time period. Let's mock up this front. I got a pretty wild idea for the front, but the flared fenders are definitely a part of it.
This whole time, the way we've been looking at this, I'm like, what are we gonna do at the front? What's going on here?
Time's upon us. I gotta spill the beans and reveal the rest of my mystery elements. Ta-da!
Yeah, that's just Volkswagen. I thought we were getting the Volkswagen out of it.
You know that saying where like, how can you find your mind unless you've lost it first?
Okay.
So how can you build something that's not a Volkswagen without having a Volkswagen first? Now, I know what you're saying. As much of a timeless classic design and just what more could you want out of that VW front end? I want a little different. Check this out. I got these. First piece is from Speedway.
Here we finally get a piece of hot rod parts that we're gonna put on this thing. Now we're going where I was hoping we were gonna go.
Now, does that look like a PT Cruiser? No. Does it look like a Volkswagen Bug? No. You know, I want this thing to be like total departure from the Bug look. Look how it fits the curve of the VW.
It does, I
hood.
mean, it does have some really cool shaping to it. I mean, this really does, the flow of this really flows with what we've created.
The same sedan delivery, it had this hood, which is a totally different style. But I just chopped the top of this off. See, these two, they could be spliced to go together. It could work. This is why I never showed Johnny or talked to him about changing the grill, because I wanted this kind of wake-up call, right? He's like, where is this going? That's what I was looking for. I don't know, Johnny, you tell me.
That definitely goes more towards that old sedan delivery look that we kind of captured in the back.
Yeah, exactamento. Now she's setting in place. How do you feel about that? We got these fenders. Let's splice them in and figure out how it's gonna work. Because right now it does. It looks like a Volkswagen with a grill stuffed on the front.
Right.
And I ain't got time for that.
The more we cut out of it, the cooler it starts to look.
Both of these can just kind of be like masked right on there for now.
All right. There's the beauty of all this customization is stuff is happening organically on its own that's showing up.
What if there were no headlights? Like, just close your eyes and imagine.
I like that idea.
I don't know, just seeing those shapes wrapped around. What if those big, graceful, curving fenders, like, were just, you didn't even have those headlight eyebrows?
Yeah.
During this process, one cannot be swayed by the ability to see in the dark. You know, it's like, does it look good or doesn't it? There's always a workaround.
Cut it!
Section A were to flow with segment B.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm totally down with no headlights. I'm like, yeah, eliminate all the headlights. No headlamps whatsoever.
Here, open this.
And then he hands me headlights.
Look at that gem. We can go multiple directions with this headlight situation. We're just gonna keep it on and see what happens. You know, the initial layout is here. That's what I asked you to come by for, like the concept, right? I needed that cartoon brain to work with me. And I mean, this thing's way out of proportion. You know, I'm gonna put my twist on a few things, but I think Johnny and I have a strong representation of where this is going.
It's the funnest part of collaborating with you is just bringing out these crazy ideas.
I knew that your time was gonna be pretty strict, and you see the amount of work it takes time-wise just to mock up what we did.
Right.
So
I like everything about it. I just don't like the fact I have to leave.
I think you should feel a lot better that you don't have to stay for the remainder of this.
Why, sure.
Quite frankly, I'll go to Florida,
Yeah.
I'll put on my work clothes, and you can handle all this. Don't take off that thinking cap just yet. We're getting in deep now. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fiberglass is a messy business. Working on our concepts, it starts with this, you know, steel strip mock-up structure. Start adding fiberglass, then go right into this heavy kitty hair, they call it, body filler. It's a long procedure. If you've done body work, you know it. Love this gigantic grill. It's a pretty radical design. I don't know if anybody else sees it, but I could see something, and I like it. There's two things that are really bugging me, and did I say bugging me? There's two things that are bothering me. There's no bug in this project. To me, these two bulges, you know, it's showing the VW hood. I think the next thing to do is get out the old saw and do some work. The VW is this bulbous hood coming down, and the Ford is very straightforward going into the grille. So this area where the VW meets the Ford, it's all gonna get cut out. So there's your problem right there. I think I'm going right for the cut on both sides. As if I didn't have enough sanding to do. You can just see what it's got to do. See that? Matches this curve, and that's going to roll right in. It always looks so raw in the mock-up. Here, it's a very tight curve. It's going to be something more in that realm. And instead of trying to lay all this out, it's going to start to distort these two. So I think I'm going to create a drape of fiberglass. So this hood will come straight down and then just come in and create that curve. So my time weaving baskets in the Polynesian islands have given me this skill. Sometimes I'll do it in a herringbone pattern. It all depends how I'm feeling. This is your standard Easter basket pattern. A lot of times I'll lay the fiberglass on the car and then brush it in. But in this case, there's really nothing to push against. It's just gonna deform that web. So that's why the first piece I'm gonna wet right here and just hang it in place. See, these are just like stickers at this point. Man, I get so much flack about how I do fiberglass. Apparently I'm doing something that's a little outside of the average. They scoff at my technique. It's really satisfying to see this radical departure from that VW hood. You know, that looked good, this looks gooder. So once this is rebuilt, this gets popped off, turned upside down, and all the stuff in there gets torn out. So it's just a one-piece fiberglass, as it was, as it should be. So So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 pieces to make this front clip. I feel like it needs something to tie it together. So everything about the styling from the late 30s, pretty much the VW followed with it, right? You had running boards on the car. Very reminiscent to that period of style. You know, it's the bubble fenders front and back, and then a big pronounced running board where the door jamb opens. So this car's got to follow suit. My first thought is let's continue that running board idea, but let's just bring them way out. I don't want it to be a hard bend. I want it to radius down. So it has that same kind of waterfall effect as the rest of the car, down, down. The challenge here is to keep this graceful, curvy flow through the whole design of the car. It's the story of my life. I want an end result, and I can't get there without just figuring it out. So nothing like some old school metal forming. Whatever it takes, by all means necessary. Try something. Told you it's got some force. Back in 3rd grade when I used to cut school, they used this thing and taught me a lesson. I like that. So by using the wood to the wood, you don't have the real power to dent the metal. Just goes to show you, sometimes those 3rd grade punishments pay off. Now we're getting somewheres. I mean, look at the dimension now when you're looking at it. It's got dementia. Hey, sometimes you just luck out. This is exactly what I was envisioning. So fiberglass doesn't bond to steel very well. So usually what I do is I'll drill these holes through here, scuff it up really good. I'll laminate to it, and then later on the underside, bond it like that, almost like a plug weld. I don't even know if this works, but you can consider it another tip from Honest Ian's fiberglass service. I like the nostalgia. I like the fact that Ed Roth built a lot of cars like this. And again, that's the real beauty of this stuff. It's not rocket science. You can try this at home. These running boards really tied both sides together. The front to the rear, they got the same thing now. There's really something that I'm considering. It's kind of a big deal. It could be the make it or break it moment for this project. Been making some progress. You know, the filling out of the running board area under the doors totally works. Johnny and I were talking about the chop top on this. We laid that roof panel in place, and it was all kind of up in the back. I brought it down a few inches, and that level, you know, it looked better. So I started to get into that door frame, and I slanted the B-pillar. You know, it has that type of Merc lead sled feel to it. I went that route, and really just started thinking, you know, in the look of it, like, could it be different? Could it be better? Is this really what I'm building? A station wagon? One thing I really love is I'm not afraid to change my mind about things. This is the way I roll. Like, no matter how deep you get, I'm always open to it. Like, well, what if, you know? I had to take the fiberglass roof cap off to do all this structure. It's way easier to reach in and do the welding and whatnot. Man, when I took the fiberglass roof off, it was a whole different car. I looked at the car and I was like, that thing looks fast. It looks so different. That big shape up here was not doing anything for the car. Look at this, like coupe roof. You know, it's almost like a Zephyr where it comes up and then bubbles up again. I forgot that I left the rear window frames in place. And when I looked at that with the slanted B-pillar, I was kind of knocked out. I wasn't expecting it. One thing I know is you can always go backwards on things, right? I just got this itch that needs scratching. The van roof, the wagon thing, it looks pretty cool, but what if? I had this idea, a revelation. This is a Dodge. I think it's about a 37, 38, 39, I don't know. And when I saw it, of course, I fell in love with this, you know, the giant sloping back They're always my favorite body styles. I love this split window. It's a pretty unique vehicle. I don't want to do measuring. I don't want to do thinking about nothing. I want to cut this apart, place it on that bug. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Either way, if it doesn't fit that car, this car is on its way to a fresh chop top. It's a win-win. You might not believe me when I say I don't take a lot of measurements, but I don't really take a lot of measurements. That's how I roll. It's crazy how a car this big looks all structure, like a battleship, but it's just flimsy sheet metal in these elaborate arched shapes. Look at that thing. Ooh, it looks like a ghost ship. All right, all my grandiose ideas have led up to this. What we have here is considered a clean slate. Anything could happen from this point. That's nasty. That's just looking for trouble, this car. Holy guacamole. I think the Dodge designers had some inspiration from them VW designers. It's a match. A little of this, a little of that. I mean, look at this, right? Bang. Talk about a natural. Do you see the way that this convoluted brain works? Now, can you finally understand why I can't sleep at night? This came out way cleaner than I ever thought it would. Literal shot in the dark, right? It's a perfect fit. I gotta tell you, this Dodge roof was a pretty solid donor. After all the trimming and fitting and everything, you can see, look at this contour. You know, it's still just very roughly tacked in place. You really notice it with the chop now. See this hard kind of transition? The VW dome comes up. It's a lot more in this area. This broad, flat plane really adds to the chopped look of the whole thing. Next step is making that connection between the back windows and the roof skin to the deck lid. Got a good start on it, just got to connect the dots. I've been using this same process of these strips through the whole project, and it works pretty well for this part of it too, even though this is all steel and getting welded together. To create this in one piece of steel will be pretty complex without a buck or anything to work off of, so using these strips, it allows me to create this flowing surface from this very flat glass into the deck lid, but then blend down so you have that waterfall effect that you see on all the Art Deco cars, you know. This roof swap might have been way late in the game, but I think it's much better for it. I just don't want to hear a bunch of PT Cruiser jokes. That's what it comes down to. So we got this as well. This is the original VW vent. It already makes the sound like it belongs there. Sometimes offering up different parts doesn't really flow with the project per se. Custom might not always be the best answer. Reimagining some of the factory stampings kind of helps it flow a bit better. Decisions. See, these are flat, right? So it's like, if I put louvers there, it's gonna mess with the overall flow of that line, guaranteed. You got that when you want. What if it was up here? I would say it, but it goes without saying. That settles it. Let's get out the cutting materials. Part of using these stock vents also adds to the mystique. It's like, I don't identify that rear window as VW, but the vents are just like a VW. What's going on there? Aha! I will remove one worthless piece of sheet metal and replace it with another worthless piece. Ta-da! That's what I'm looking for. That works. This is where the fusion really takes place. You got the clearly identifiable VW vents in the same position as they would be on the Bug, but with a Dodge back window and roof. This is coming in. This looks a little bulgy now. I could tailor this, and that's really what I'm getting to is the final bits of modifications. Having this roof at such a different attitude So all of a sudden, the nose looks gigantic. The nose looks like it's pointing up into that sky. Again, it's not something I saw until I saw it. It's like the hood is like that, and the rest of the car is like that. Needs to be a happy medium. One of those big points from the mock-up with Johnny was this kind of shark nose appearance that the hood is having. It's always been kind of up, kind of snooty, and I want it to look a little down. That's exactly where this needed to go. Just a little bit down. This project's been a good example of the adaptability of fiberglass forming. Aha! We literally threw the kitchen sink and a bunch of other stuff at it and, glued it all together to a refined finish. With everything pulled out from underneath, no one else will know what happened, except you and I. Pretty much it. I think I'll just do a little fill-in and undercoat these. Once I got the underneath cleaned out, I got the exterior refined, and this thing's looking like a whole different specimen. This is the point I was trying to get to. All that thought, the radical change from the station wagon to this, I am stoked. I think this typifies like my style, right? It's cartoony, it looks like a big toy. Got these radical proportions. I mean, dare I say, it's got a bit of a street rod feel to it, It's all smooth, there's no fender welt, it's all blended together, there's no drip rails. It looks like a big plastic car. It is a big plastic car, who am I kidding? It's low, it's nose down. It's almost not a Volkswagen. The hardest part with this entire project was right in here. You'd see how flat the Dodge roof gets. I needed this to bunch up so that the engine fit in there. So I came up with this kind of panel. It kind of goes down, and then you see the trunk lid area. But I wanted this impossible kind of wedge-shaped rear. The case of these rear vents is a clear example of kind of winging it. When you change one thing, you change everything, so you got to adapt as you go. A lot of people probably be asking, why is there only one door handle? Because this is invitation only. You want entry? Hello? We just freestyled the whole deal. I had this scrap VW Bug, this kooky artist from the East Coast. I was like, hey man, let's figure it out. Naturally, two big shout outs are in order, right? This does not happen solo. Johnny Jalopy came in and slammed it, got that concept and all the creative elements flowing. Alan Banuelos, the unsung hero, the dude with the 36 grit, 80, 120, 200 hours? I don't know, all it took. A nice little weekend project to just pass some time with a friend. And here we are, no fingertips. 500,000 sheets of sandpaper. We finished the bodywork. We put a good coat of primer with a little color tint in it just to give it a little flair. Mocked up the windows, got the lights in place. The stance, that's on for me. Pretty tasty. This is just another example of the universe that we're creating here. Why not? Why can't you make a lowrider, street rod, Volkswagen from another dimension? I really want to take my time with this. This thing's going into cold storage for a bit, but it's not going to sit there long. Get on to a couple other projects and visit this later. My good buddy Victor said he's got a project and he'd like to bring it over. Now, this door-to-door delivery's got me a little suspicious right out of the gate. This isn't the first time Victor's shown up with a pile of parts, but the urgency seems a bit new and invigorated.
Surprise.
Right? It is a surprise. I see some stuff I recognize, but some stuff I don't.
It's a Volkswagen pan, and I'm not a Volkswagen guy.
You know I am. He's brought it to the right place.
That's why it's here. Me and Hector were playing with it a little because I wanted some other kind of roadster or something, but with Ian's touch, the Ed Roth feel and his space junkie vibe.
Yes, sir.
I said, who better could put this puzzle together and make it look cool?
I think you're looking for an excuse to get some extra sheet metal out of your yard, but hey, you came to the right place. Clearly, the tables have turned. Normally, I'm the one that's pitching all the crazy ideas, cardboard, masking tape, all the envisioning tools. Here it comes. Even in my backyard, the world works in mysterious ways. I see your envisioning tools are hard at work. It's just a wedge, just straight up, looking like a log splitter almost. Just something comes straight down to a sharp blade in the front, huh?
This is your name written on it. I mocked this up mainly so I could get my space of where the interior was gonna go and that I fit in it. This here, to me, feels right. The rest is whatever you think. I got some extra parts. If you could use them, you use them.
Always with Victor's pile of parts, I'm seeing things that I recognize, but he's always got that wild card he throws in. I never know when it's gonna strike. It needs just about everything, but I'm not sure how that Metropolitan body translates to this exotic shape you're describing. I think these little Metropolitans are awesome cars. It's just like for customization potential, there's not really a lot going on there, but hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Sleep on it, let the stars affect you out here, and you'll feel it.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has a dream, and the knucklehead to fall through with it. Put this thing back in the shop, and I gotta say, this is a super loose mock-up, probably one of the loosest we've ever started from, but he said I have free reign, right? That's what I heard. So I'm gonna do what I think needs to be done. I love the idea of building a concept from nothing. Victor pretty much came in, made a bold statement, and dropped the mic. He's like, that's your job. So we can reference that should we need to. All I've ever wanted to do is just build my own stuff, so Victor's showing me that opportunity. All right, we got this mouse trap out of the way. He's talking about these rims, 22-inch diameter rims on a Volkswagen. Let's just see. Take a moment to digest the possibilities. I'm not 100% feeling those rims. I'm not opposed to big diameter wheels, but something about the stagger, right? You want big in the back, little in the front. That's the hot rod flavor. Looking a little like a roller skate at this point. Victor likes big rims and he cannot lie. Now we're getting somewhere. Helps, we're trying to hide that engine, so we're trying to pack as much material around that as possible. Those rims do just that. Wheelbase is way too short. Close together or far apart or just right. See what I'm saying? Right now it's got the Mr. Peabody look. It's kind of like really close together. Smaller wheels would appear farther apart. This is the beginning of a delicate dance. Stacking parts, arranging parts, moving them around, and at this point, your guess is as good as mine. See, when I saw the Metropolitan body, I knew I wanted to wedge the front of it down to get it as low as possible, and man, it's got that kind of a wedge shape already. I know the wheelbase is gonna be longer. How much longer? I have no clue. As much as I like that tire centered in the fender well, I think the back of the car should move as far forward as possible. Tuck it right to that engine, I think. It's the moment of truth. Weirdo-rama. Oh no. That is kooky. All of a sudden, it looks really, really tall at this point with that fin stuck on there. Let's see if we can make this door hinge and look as low as possible. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Look how big that quarter panel is. Without that tire on, whew, that wasn't gonna work. Aha! There's a tire in there. I can't stand it. First I didn't like the rims, now I'm all goosey. This style rim might win me over after all. Having a body panel next to this wheel, it's like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, that's hot rod. Proportions everything, and looking at that taillight hanging off the back end, I'm like, ooh, we gotta tighten that up a bit. This is what's gonna sell the back end of the car, in my opinion. I'm really happy with the door, the tire, and the bobbed off back end. This fin is coming down, coming forward, and then again, our axle being somewhere out here, I'm assuming. Maybe furtherer, I don't know, but that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna replicate this exact measurements to the other side and then carry on with the front and the back. Even though we only have a half a car presented, I feel like we're leaning in the right direction. And even if we're not, we're only half wrong, right? Diced up that whole Nash Metropolitan and it worked out great. I just mimicked the driver's side with the passenger side and put in a bunch of structure. I made this cool little curved backrest. Got some representation of what the back of this bucket area that you sit in is. It's feeling good. At this point in the process, my focus is on getting the front of that car as low as possible. The Volkswagen Beam with its stacked tubes was not going to afford that super low look, so I called in some reinforcements. I ordered a 6-inch drop axle from Speedway. This is your typical hot rod setup. Disc brakes, rack and pinion steering. It's not a Volkswagen, Victor. We're hiding all that business. When people look at this, they'll be like, wait, something doesn't add up. There's usually a big V8 engine sitting right here. Not this time. Literally, the hood height can be right here. That's super low. Volkswagen and the hot rod, they gotta meet up. I got a plan. It involves some of this. It's from another project, that crazy trike thing. Piece of the leftover chassis, it's super strong. Oh, I gotta get back in the gym. This is envisioning central right here, and look how close this perch is to that body line. I like that. This is what I was seeing when he showed me that wedge silhouette. It's like extremely low in the front. And when I saw it on the VW, I was like, man, it just doesn't work. You got these two shocks coming way up. This is gonna work. I mean, usually we talk about like, oh, waist-high car, knee-high car. Now that's a toy. I think this wheelbase is perfect. I wanna get this thing into like a roller status and then consider what's happening with the body. Looking at Victor's mock-up and looking what we have here, I'm seeing a straight shot on an angle, front to back, right to the front spindles. Cheese biscuit has an angle. It's sharp cheddar. I think for right now, I'm gonna bolt these heim joints right to the pan just to get some kind of a reference. To all those that say I don't even have a tape measure, well, I found it and I'm using it. This is one of the only times in life where it's hip to be square. That's a win. See? Nice big rainbow bridge. And what does every rainbow have buried inside? Mounting hardware, of course. Boom. Of course, that structure is going to get a bunch more strength. This was just to get the axle in position so I can set up this sheet metal. So it's all got to kind of come together. So I want to keep the center perch of the chassis super narrow. I think the body's going to be somewhere in here like this, right to there. The way that I'm feeling is not only do we want this wedged down from top to bottom like Victor presented, I want the both sides coming in. I want it more like a chisel point. The look here is pure speed, you know, like the tip of a lightning bolt, right? Fast. That defining rib in the lower portion of the door, I'm gonna try to mimic that. It's 2 blank sheets and then just take a look. So see, that's approximate. Then you can see how it radiuses down from there. Put a little hoo-ha in it. Trim this off. That looks pretty good. That's our gauge. That all started when I was learning to make gutters for houses. You could see that this could easily be turned into a gutter shape. So some people, like the wealthy, they wanted a special shaped gutter. Seriously. So they said, oh, I drew this design, and now how do you do that? That's how I did that. Sometimes it just shows you can work yourself out of the gutter. You could be somebody. So easy to continue stacking until it looks like an overweight mess, right? I've always taken the opposite route and try to like sharpen it, refine it. A lot of times you end up with a much smaller interior than expected. Looks better already, baby. I hogged both of these cavities open, so it should give us a few more inches. Yep, it's pretty aggressive. Looks good from here. I think the choice to cut this floor pan into a triangle shape was the right one. I mean, looking at it from the nose now, it's got the flow. All the envisioning in a world really doesn't matter at this point. It's all about getting things in line and all the structure in. Goes from like thin body, and then the body comes in, it's just totally not a Volkswagen, something very different. But we aren't done yet. We both know that this concept has to be as complete as we can muster to prepare it for the arrival of the master enhancer. Like they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. I think Victor really didn't have a lot of expectations coming into this. Like, he had a concept, and like, I think he's along for the ride.
You nailed it. I mean, who in their right mind, the way you continued the body line, so the whole side of the car is complete. It's awesome. I love the front end you put on this thing. The tires in the front, we almost need to do something like you did on the Space Junkie, something narrower.
That's what's bugging me also. It looks like it's got two giant mitts coming at you. Look how light the front of the car looks now.
I mean, look at that. You got a wedge coming right after you with wings coming out. So it's like, what the heck's this guy doing? It's got to be Ian stuff. I just need a little bit more beat, but I got what you're trying to tell me. There's your speedster, right?
For sure. There's something to be said for just falling into the groove. We're in line with the rims. We're in line with the general direction the body's taking, and I mean, just carry on.
I brought you all this stuff again. You know me, I'm a collector of fine art.
This is fine art. And no mock-up would be complete without Victor introducing an entire onslaught of new parts to add to the mix.
Use what you want. I got different kinds of headlights, tail light, grills and stuff. That's Pomona at its best.
I like what he's putting down here. You know, all these parts, they speak volumes, you know, atomic age, retro future, space travel. These are sweet. You even know what these are from?
No.
They're huge.
They're from Pomona, that's all I know.
Yeah. I'm not one to be completely upstaged by Victor. I'm always collecting stuff too, and I got a few things to throw in the mix as well. Check this out.
Wow. War of the Worlds, man. That's my favorite movie.
Right? Come on.
That'd be some good sunglasses for you. That's cool.
Right? Just raise them up maybe 3 or 4 inches. So the car's going so fast, right? You wouldn't be like going into the wind like that. You'd be like squinting, trying to go into the wind. I'm glad you love these headlights because I felt like that was going to solve it. You can work on the rims, but the issue with the hood, I'm seeing more of a rounded edge like you would see on most 50s cars, you know? Contour in here.
I got Zephyr hoods. I bring you one, you cut it to size, and you got your contour.
A Lincoln Zephyr hood is really a special part in the hot rod and custom world. You really can't get them. So to throw this in the mix is pretty daring. So you got your VW, you got your Metro, you got your Studebaker, you got your Speedway, and then you got your Zephyr. It's a magic number.
And the Edzo.
6. I like how this is stacking up. The part stash just keeps going and going. I mean, you talk about throwing in the kitchen sink. This is like the 1980s Honda spoiler on the trunk. He leaves nothing out for the trash. It's like some Star Trek lines right there.
Actually, it goes better that way.
Yeah, you're kind of freaking me out, man. My mind is spinning on this back end now. I got some concepts, but I want to come down to your place and pick up that hood because that, to me, it feels like a solution, the Zephyr hood.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Continue on that journey because I'm with you.
This is music to my ears, you know, the synchronicity of ridiculousness. Victor is on track for success. This is exactly where I want it to be. I mean, look at the great shape. It's just not even triangular anymore. It's just like graceful, like a boat. I mean, Zephyr's a beautiful car. It's a good candidate for our butcher job. I am dying to put the front axle on this just to look, but we're not running those tires. The openings won't allow the radius arms to go in, but I mean, the body's shape to me, feeling it. There's still a big issue of missing car on the back of this project. The only thing that's in the way in the back is this fan shroud. I have to work around that, otherwise I could do anything I want. But I want something kind of exotic. The Nash Metropolitan is a very flat, draped piece of sheet metal. 54 Chevy has the same look, just a nice round deck lid. I was thinking maybe about that. I also remembered I had some VW Type 3 deck lids, so I put that on there. And it's like, well, that looks like the back of a car to me. It's got a cool shape to it. I think it needs something more than just that. Like, what does it do? Just go straight down in the back and then a couple taillights? That doesn't look very interesting to me. I want it to look like more exotic, you know? When you look at it from the back, it doesn't look like any other car. I had a lot of consideration about what to do on the back of this, you know? Anything goes, but what do I have on hand? I had another one of these, same unit, right? What if you just put them together like this? Look, they match. That's like the back bumper of a UFO, if I'm not mistaken. This is pure sculpture at this point. That's my favorite thing to do, so it only follows that that's all I think about 24/7, right? It just might work. I love how it's like a super exaggerated roll pan. I love the orientation of the fins and this curve right here. So it's coming in your eye, it's coming down and back up right here. We're talking about the wedge, right? So it's like from here to there. Just gotta come up a little bit more. I want this to raise high up enough to access the engine, etc. I want the whole back of the car to open. So I'm gonna come up with a little hinge plan, swinging from the stock mounting location on this deck lid. The nut gets welded to the car, and the deck lid swivels around it. Drum roll, please. Yeah, I mean, you have perfect access to the complete engine. This is gonna get cut back somewhere through here, so there's a lot of room to offer. Definitely cool. I'm gonna get rid of this right now, because that's bugging me. That thing's sticking out like a sore piece of sheet metal. Not really rocket science, it's deck lid science. I'm not gonna use much more than my knee bone. Like so. If you really want, I could turn this into a big formal production, right? I could get out the tubing bender, make some templates. I could even get the tape measure out, make it look really important. I saw the shape I needed. I had an extra knee laying around, so what the heck? Yeah, the taillights are a pretty big aesthetic in what's happening back here. I think less towards the bottom of the car is better. Just gonna keep everything like focused on the wings. I think it's about time we busted into Victor's treasure trove. He brought in some real jewels, and I think this car could use some sparkle. You know, these are pretty tasty, but I feel like they're definitely horizontal. These are super space age, but I think they're just too big for those fins. Now, these little gems, and look at that. Does that not say flying spaceship thing? I think Victor knows that the key to all of our success so far has been his parts sourcing, and I gotta say, he knows how to pick them. That little baby set right in there. Something about the shape of these particular taillights, I think it's gonna really tidy up and refine the statement of the back end of this car. Did a little work on the rear of these fins. I extended them out, took some sheet metal and formed it to fit up these taillights just right. I felt like this little bulge in the fender here would just sort of terminate right at the taillight, and then it would just fall down in a very generic shape. Like that way it's pretty much open to whatever kind of flavor we want to add to it. There's something about, like, you know, the Martian's antennas, the way they're like that. I just felt like the taillights and the fins, like you had this like round shape with two like things coming off. I don't know, worked for me. Even though the majority of the back is defined, there's still a lot of holes in the rear portion. You know, it's kind of like the Swiss cheese biscuit, but we're going for more the mozzarella biscuit. It's sort of round, it's sort of triangle. So to just kind of make that flow with sheet metal, it's easier said than done. So I'm thinking I can utilize this rest of the Nash Metropolitan body. This is the front fender. It's got a bunch of good character lines in it. I think that's just gonna add a less generic flavor to it. This is the old joining of the Studebaker, Nash Metropolitan, and Volkswagen Type 3 Trek. Here we go. The first step is to create some kind of a line that transfers the taillight fin to the bottom of the car. In just looking at the back of the car, I'm seeing this horizontal band where the two deck lids joined, and I'm thinking that it may turn up into the flat plane of the taillights, so just trying to create a ridge that would lead into that feeling.
I said I want to make a Tesla right now and put this piece in.
You got one slice of pizza. Pepperoni. Because this is just a vacant space, I'm imagining the curve, the contour that'll blend around the corner into the wheel arch area. So I'm just looking around and choosing something that matches that contour in my mind. For me, I'm not a really good planner, but I'm a really good improviser, and this pretty much documents the process precisely. I'm just trying to follow the lay of the land. Yes. No plans, wing a prayer. Voila. I love this dip in the Studebaker fin. It's got some more flow, It's more organic. Name the state. Start it right where it fits the best. I'm gonna begin the mutilation process. Starting to curve this piece of flat steel, and it's putting a lot of stress in the panel, which is gonna make it super strong. You're gonna need that rigidity for space travel. Seen some craft come apart at Mach 6. It's a messy scenario. I took my time, did all the welding, fabbed out the whole rear corners, and it's almost time for Mr. Cacio to take over on this creation. I love the fins and the taillights, but looking at the center section, it's just kind of mute. Time's a-wasting, it's running out. What's my last call on the look of the back of this car? I think I got one more idea. Two of the things I saved were from a Cadillac. I don't know what year that is, but that's definitely in the front grille. You got all these little chrome bullet shapes, and man, maybe Frenched in a bit, a little out, just a big oval opening. With this insert, it'll be functional and look pretty spacey. It's like that 13-year-old kid with braces, right? I'm thinking, man, the Zephyr hood classed this thing up so much. Wouldn't a little bit of Cadillac in the back look good? Now let's put this wire to hold it as a reference, but that's kind of the look. This really added to it. Now the deck lid has some dimension to it. It's like an alien face. It's pretty weird. That was the last major aesthetic change. We're still working on some concepts for the windshield and dashboard. I think the momentum is building. This car at this point, as wild as it looks, it's still a blank slate. Once it gets into Victor's hands, all bets are off. The only thing I can say for sure is that we're not sure where it's gonna go from here. Let the dice roll. Victor called me down to the Cacio residence talking about change. Business as usual with this guy, always hustling.
Check this out, Ian. I might need a few more slight enhancements.
Yeah, as usual. Wait, what? Wow. Whoa. Talk about a jaw-dropper moment. I'm just like, wow. I'm expecting a car in the middle of some kind of crisis. This thing is awesome. Holy moly, you've been a little busy.
I slightly changed a few things.
I can see the changes. It's orange now.
You wanted a cheese biscuit, you got it.
It's done. It's finished. It's beautiful. It's even orange, like sharp cheddar. I love how you changed the fins, because you kept saying the grill looked like an angry rat with the ears sticking up in the fins or something, but this totally fixed it. One major change in the back was the taillights are disappeared. He rounded off, and I gotta say, good call, man. It looks smooth.
It defines its own look, right? I mean, tell me when you've ever seen that before.
Never. It looks great. I just wondered, what are you gonna do for taillights?
I got taillights. I'll never live that down. Everywhere I go, where the taillight. Stay there. I don't want to take that heat anymore. taillights.
Oh, right on. Stealth mode. I think the car is a little bit of everything. It's futuristic, it's definitely got street rod vibes. The classic panel shapes of the old cars we used are represented, so it's kind of a mashup. It's its own thing. Victor fires it up and tells me to jump in, and I'm like, where? There's no room in this thing. This thing's right out of the garage, so he's like, hey, let's go up to the park, do a few laps, see how it feels, you know, see if the tires are gonna fall off. My first ride in a Roadster just sealed the deal for me. It's like a chopper with 4 wheels, and you got the same vibe in this car. It's very light. The arrangement of the chassis allows a guy 6'2" like me, I can put my legs way up in the front of the car. There's tons of leg room. You're right on the road. It's loud as heck. It's super fun. Temps in the high 90s. The breeze is just right. There's many ways to start a new project. You got a lot of considerations, a lot of thoughts. But you know, out here in the desert, I feel like all you really need is a couple good car parts and a dream. You know me, you know I got parts laying around. It's just a matter of time till I start seeing configurations and possibilities. I gotta say, this is a pretty non-traditional horse ranch we got, so why not build a non-traditional Roadster? It's a fiberglass body. It's already non-traditional, right? In my eyes, anything goes. I'm thinking about a hot rod Roadster for the desert. Water. Water. Got a little body, got a little chassis, and I got an engine. This fine piece of Americana. Some folks say it's a 360, some folks say it's a 390. Universal agreement is it's a Ford FE engine from 1975. What do I know? It has some cool valve covers, so I bought it. What can I say? I like sparkly things. I mean, big old valve covers, sold. Next on the list of parts is this gem. 1991 Ford Ranger chassis, 2-wheel drive. It's got this twin I-beam front suspension, really strong. They make awesome pre-runners. The rear suspension is soft. They ride great out in the Wild West. The 3 Fs, Ford, Ford, and Ford. Like most of my great ideas, it's not as easy as just putting together a puzzle. Body's definitely not designed to fit this chassis, and for me, of course, it's all about the look. Like, the wheelbase is radically different. I mean, this is a pretty noodly looking chassis here. It's all over the place. I mean, look at this roller coaster effect. I don't know where they came up with that or why. When you look at the Model A or T, looks like a ladder. That doesn't bother me. I'm gonna put this body on, start making adjustments. That's the essence of hot rodding, right? Just do what you can with the stuff you got lying around. Well, the chassis is not too wide. Look how the wheel arch is so far away from where the tire is. Problem number 1. It looks like the body's got to be sitting somewhere in that orientation. The wheelbase looks extremely long as well. You could see how much the chassis is hanging out of the back end of this rig. One of my main challenges at this point is to not cut the chassis. I don't want to disrupt the geometry of the way this thing was built from the factory. I gotta find a way to make it look good in stock form. Well, we know the body don't fit. Let's see how bad the engine mashup is. This truck would have a V6 or a 4-cylinder in it, and I'm stuffing a big old Ford engine in it. That's all about the mock-up stage, right? Just keeping an open mind. We're just kind of stacking parts as usual. So the stock engine would want to fit here, where this little cross member is. What if we took the engine, moved it rearward, and dropped it down so that it would be straddling that cross member back to the firewall, like it should be in a Roadster. And then you got the look of the hot rod with the tires out front, no? Not looking at the chassis, I'm just looking at this. Body and the engine have to look good together. I'm not looking at the front of the chassis or the rear of the chassis. It looks good. But I'm thinking, what if I left the body up in the back and raked it even more in the front? Like, what if I took some off of the nose of this thing and just dropped it down? And what if it sat on the car like that, but lower? Starting to get a little funky attitude right there. Yeah, I'll put the valve covers up here. That's what you want to see too. I think I just made up your mind. By cutting this back, like this body line, look, it would kind of transfer into this a little bit better. See, they're not perfectly parallel, but they're definitely more in agreement than they were. That way this just kind of rolls off and it shows the frame. I'll throw the dice, commit, and cut. Ooh. Maybe we drop the engine a little. I love the valve covers being up like that. This makes the engine look so much more pronounced. This is what I was hoping for, you know, just one quick move and that sets the whole project in motion. The last thing I had was this cool grill. You know what I'm saying? Something in this area, I don't know. This is gonna have some kind of off-road tires. You think I got everything in order before I start the project? Heck no. This is just the mock-up phase. We're on our way. All that's left to do is everything. Typical business at Rancho Russello. What this thing needs next is a little TLC, a little tender loving cutting. Got some ideas. We've got our initial mock-up in place. Now it's time to bring some envisioning to life. My favorite pastime. This is where I want the body to land for here, ever after. I'm really not happy with seeing this trailer hitch and all this cross member stuff. I'm gonna put a roll cage in it, but firstly, I wanna get rid of this rear cross member and replace it with a round tube. It'll look a little bit more race truck. The whole idea here is to make it appear like with a hot rod, you know, pretty much the tires are the main statement, not a bunch of extra stuff. You know, a truck would have bumpers, a tow hitch, none of that on this rig. Chassis rails are gonna stay because they're supporting the leaf spring perches. I'm gonna make the tube frame first and then cut all this out. For this part of the project and the rest of all the tubing fabrication, I'm using 1.5" with 1/8" inch wall round tube. Probably not the stoutest choice for a serious off-road machine, but for this desert cruiser, it'll be perfect. The thing about off-road vehicles is like the functionality, these tube structures, that's the aesthetic. These things get tricked out. Some look super techy and some are more artsy. Mine would be more artsy, still looking techy. Yeah, see, that already looks more like a desert vehicle. Just a little spreader, put some support. In the words of every great welder, that ain't going nowhere. That looks a little more off-road appropriate. I really want to carry this aesthetic of the fabricated tube look through the entire project. That's really kind of the key to this off-road appearance. It's got to perform in the desert, it's got to look cool. So I got to thinking, Self, if you could build any kind of roll cage for this car, you wouldn't really follow the perfect CAD design of the ultimate structure, right? And I said, yeah, that's right. So why don't we curve some tubes to match the back of the car? So I did, and here it is. It has the potential to follow in the back of that car, does it not? But it'll also add something, the funk factor. So they don't turn down, they turn to wherever they land on the rear hoop, like that. So we spliced it with a straight shot. Does that look weird to you? Looks pretty weird to me. Let's carry on. In a perfect hot rod world, you'd have a chop top, right? But this isn't that type of thing. Headroom is gonna matter. Most of the time, it's all about the look, right? Like, I don't care if I'm crunched in there like a monster. But if you've been off-road and ever had the roll bar banging against your head for the entire ride, you change your mind about things. Principal factor in this look, because you think of a hot rod, chopped, channeled, lowered. This thing is pretty tall, and the roof, it looks to fit me, is gonna be even taller. Dang it. Why'd mama make me so tall? Can't even build a cool dune buggy. I mean, that's fun buggy style for sure, but I don't know. I want to get the rest of the cage structure in place and then see how it feels. So these little cuts here are called fish mouths because that's why. The whole idea here is it's adjustable. Right now, these little fish mouths will allow these bars to pivot, so just kind of centering some stuff. Once you start climbing in, and you're 6'2", so you can see this, right? It looks a little awkward, but this is me sitting right on the chassis, no seat. So what might help put it in proportion more, so maybe it doesn't look like it just has a big box stuck on top, is the rear bars. That's sort of what I was seeing back here. But the question is, where this doesn't just turn down to here, this is gonna come as a straight shot back to there. This is where the old duct tape helping hand comes in. So see, that's gonna hit there. Yeah, I could see that working. That steering box is definitely a permanent install. We're gonna work around it. Oh yeah. Looks like a hood line now, albeit a long hood. At least it has some kind of a flow. Before I get the front part of the cage welded, I want to get the engine in. The positioning of the engine is pretty critical. This is what I was really trying to show off. Get that. I mean, these valve covers, they're not going to be yellow in the end, obviously, but let me express my enthusiasm. I love the way that the valve covers are showing above the cage. It's got like an aggressive look, so I'm pretty charged up. It's all about flavor, right? It's time to get the old spice rack out, get to work. Just getting these tubes in place is really helping me with the proportion. You know, the roof height was a real problem for me, but now seeing this long stretched out front, you know, gives the tube chassis a little more proportion, I think. The rake being transferred down to the hood, it all looks like it's in alignment. The thing that's bugging me proportion-wise are these puny little trailer tires. When it comes to options for tires and wheel style, sky's the limit as usual. Is it a sand car? Will it have paddles and skinny tires on the front? Is it a monster truck, you know, with the huge 44-inch tires? I was like, this thing is looking pretty functional. Definitely needs something with tread, something meaty looking. But I thought that something like this would be best. Yeah, I saw an ad for these babies, and it just seemed right. They're 35 by 12.5. On these centerline style wheels, so you could really see the difference between these guys and the 14-inch trailer units. Yeah, look at that. That's quite a bit larger. When I saw these tires, I knew they were just the right thing. The first thing it made me think of is one of those RC cars that are like so capable, you know, jumping and going over everything. Even though it's a hot rod, the big and little combo isn't really what I'm thinking for the desert. That beefs it up a bit. Oh yeah, this changes the proportion issue like 100%. All of a sudden, it looks like it should be this way. That's what I was looking for, even though I didn't know what I was looking for. But I do want something coming across. Right now, the steering box is the front bumper, and that's not a good thing. So I'm gonna at least want a couple tubes to protect that. Set this down here. Boom, steering box is out the way. I'll just come in with another one. Just set back just a little bit, give it a little motion. Yeah, but that grill is definitely too tall. I like it sitting there. Roughly 39, 41. That means we have to take 2 inches off. What I liked first and foremost when I saw it was I couldn't identify it. It's almost like a 32 Ford grill shell, but it's much pointier. Not too much, not too little. So I'm gonna make an insert out of this stuff. Every time I see one of these bottoms for the old-fashioned house screen doors, you know, you would see it was just like this little mesh down here, and then it was like regular screen. They just got all different styles, so I just pick them up every time I see one. Sweet. Yeah, so I don't know what that'll have long term, if it'll have maybe another screen behind it, just to give it a little more, you know, effect of a surface. But that's a cool little different kind of a grill. The primary thing in this whole front arrangement is that it looks complete. Now it's like, okay, tube chassis vehicle. It's got the Model T roadster body and it's got the T-style grille shell. And the cool factor for me is that you got this really sturdy now welded grille shell, and like the bottom of the opening is the Ranger chassis. So looking at it from the front, from the back, yes, I think we can live with that. But I think visually it would just help out these linear tubes. I'd like to see something that I can step on. It's gonna be a monster to get into this thing. We're gonna be like trying to get in over the edge of a swimming pool here. Why not a sidebar? It's like a brush guard, you know, something that would keep things out of those tires. See, now you got these tubes and they're all tubing around, doing tube things. Sometimes, as they say, you gotta just keep tubing until the tubing's done. So yeah, this little sidebar action, you know, it looks tubular like the rest of it, but more so it's a step, right? So you're just getting into the cockpit. So it's gonna be easy. Now that we have our structure structuralized, it's time to get some mechanics in place so we can get this buggy down the trail. The next two necessities for this thing to operate are fuel and a radiator. I picked this guy up online, and I had this left over from another project, which is perfect. This cooled a big block Chevy engine, no problem. So I had made a shroud with a big electric fan that operates just fine with this radiator. So it's basically brand new, but repurposed. I know I'm gonna put the gas tank down here underneath. So this bar is gonna come across here to support the tank. And I'm gonna have to notch into the body a little bit. All right, I'll give that up, right? You see those race cars with like the parachute on the back, it's a little box on the back of the car. Fine, I got a box on the back of the car. The second thing, where does the radiator go back here? I've seen buggies, trucks, where they'll mount them on this bar here, kind of angled. Ultimately, it comes down to the look. I don't want a big aluminum panel up here with a fan showing. There's gonna be airflow right through here. So I was thinking about getting this radiator mounted somewhere in the body with some sort of duct or something. First thing I wanna do is just get this gas tank in. Bottom line here is it comes down to function, right? It's gotta look good, and it's gotta work. But primarily for me, it's gotta look good. Yeah, it gives it a little bit of that junk in the trunk look. I like it, it works good. The next thing is that radiator. That's where the plot thickens. The body lines on the Model T, they're very petite, so to speak, and the radiator I'm choosing is very large, so therein lies the mashup. Can't put the radiator in front, that's a challenge. I kind of see the radiator sitting in the body, but I want to open the body a bit so that it can get a lot of air, obviously. Cutting like what you would see for a rumble seat, like this used to be a lid, and then maybe we can push this down a little bit to expose the radiator more, or maybe we just cut it out as if it was just an open panel. Just in thinking about hot rods and old Fords, I'm like, man, maybe like the Model A style where there was a rumble seat in the back, maybe make an open area where there could have been a lid and sink the radiator in there. Yeah, look at that. That's the sound of success. Right? Now, does that not look like a port of cooling air potential? I like it already. So what I was thinking is if I could get this thing in the body, you wouldn't have to see a heck of a lot of it. Aesthetically, sticking up, not so good. So if I trim out some of this material, I'm able to lay that back. The surface area is still there, it's just reclined, kind of like what you'll see like in the front of a Corvette. In my world, everything's up for the slice and dice. I mean, if the radiator doesn't fit, all we have is a giant hole in the back of the car. Yeah, that's getting close. So you see now that radiator is just direct, right to the atmosphere. This is exactly what I was envisioning. You know, the radiator's tucked in, you got the feeling of there could be a rumble seat in there. Thinking about the mix of like a hot rod and a desert vehicle, you know, this has the look we're going for, but I got one more idea for the deck lid area. So let's see if we were to do another one, and at about that. distance, I think. This is just something I've seen in race cars to lighten them, etc. But I'm like, I need some airflow. It'll help come down into the radiator and out the back of the car. So it kind of looks more racy and it works to move the air. Heck yeah, that's looking more like it now. The old Swiss cheese effect. I gotta say, I'm pretty relieved. It's a pretty unorthodox approach, but I think it's gonna work. So for the next thing, aesthetics-wise and function-wise, of course, is the intake and the exhaust, you know, like how's it breathe? That's always a huge part of the character of a machine as well. And I got a couple ideas. Something old, something new. Anybody in there? I made some progress on getting the engine squared away, and I'm inching towards that first run down the desert. It's got a new alternator, fuel pump, starter, and I got a new carburetor for it too. It gives it a little flair. Then I got to thinking, I had this thing laying in the back of the shop for quite a while. Does it have a blower? No. But does it have the look? Uh-huh. So it has an air filter that goes in there, but come on, look at that, right? It gives it that vibe, right? If weird is what you are seeking, you've come to the right place. I got some exhaust headers with this engine. They're Hedman headers. They're perfectly usable. They're just dirty. They got some rust, but I mean, that's par for the course. So you can see the way that that comes out. This chassis, 100% in the way. I mean, does it look kind of cool hanging outside the rig? Yeah, it does. And it's like, well, what if we just did this? What if we put it up into the back? That's pretty wild looking. Like, I love the bottom end of these. You never even see this because this is under the vehicle all the time. So it's got like that cool twisty tubey effect. Yeah, I think I want to get a couple bolts and just put these on, see how they look. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened, right? Yeah, that's just weird enough to sell it for me. Like a bat. What are you gonna do, run a pipe out here that you have to climb over when you get in and out of the car? I don't think so. What I do think is those like sprint cars, they run these little mini mufflers, so it's like a header dump right now exhaust. Yeah, look at this. Basically, you know, it makes it legal for the track. It's just the simplest of simple baffles. I was like, man, that looks pretty like industrial strength. It's all business. So, I mean, if I cut this back, shorten it up as much as possible, why not, right? Is it gonna be loud? Yeah. So I'm gonna cut the end of this off and see what it looks like. Weld that right on. Perfect harmony with everything else that I've built. It looks way faster than it actually is, so that's a bonus. Definitely like, whoa, is it a race car? Is it a jalopy? What's going on here? What's it gonna look like in the end? I don't know. This cage has a pretty strong presence. The T Roadster has sort of faded away. It's its own thing now. You know me, as usual, I got a couple ideas. I have a few more final details to attend to in the upholstery department, but we're getting there. I can almost taste the sand in my teeth. I just did a quick scuff with Scotch-Brite and just flat black and the whole thing. Fuel cell, chassis, engine. The headers are coated with a high heat. I think it's starting to look a little bit better. We're at the critical point. Got all the busy work attended to. Now we got a blank canvas. What's next? I'm not one of the great painters in the world for sure, but I've done some stuff. My style is basically simple, so I'm gonna keep this with a spray can finish. Well, is it racing inspired? Is it cartoon inspired? I think so. I think I want to bring a little bit of Roadster hot rod back into the equation. That's weird. That's weird enough to be a keeper. Checking this out, it's like, yeah, it gives you a feeling of motion. The body was pretty boring, just this matte black shape. So this little graphic really spices it up. What I'm thinking is a border on the silver. Gives a nice little frame surrounding that. I have a plethora of options here. I've got some pink, got some blue, and I could go wild with it. Look at that pearl. Oh, that could really take it over the top, huh? I got options, I got spray cans. We'll see what develops. I mean, anything can happen. And then we ride. Out here in the desert, you need a vehicle for every occasion. This one is for pure fun. This desert hot rod is ready for its maiden voyage. Got the paint set up, very simple, bold graphic. This thing's gonna get nicked up, scratched up, scuffed up, so it gives it some flavor. I felt mostly like it really works with the exhaust. It's pretty dramatic. Sort of like an old race car would have, you know, something pretty primitive, but flashy. I was gonna put that blower on the engine, but I felt like it was just too much. While it did look really aggressive, I thought it might just kind of cause some stress. This thing's gonna be bouncing around a lot, and the last thing I want is a big bobblehead on top of the engine. I got these KC daylighters. They're the real deal. They got the KC logo right on the glass. I like old school. The wheel and tire combo really gives this thing an aggressive look. Dog bed upholstered seat, and what more does a man need? Proportions for me were always the issue with this. Getting the roll bar in place and the length of it, like it works, but it's still super cramped inside. I barely fit. I put the steering outside the body. It steers perfect. 2 universal joints, right to the Ranger steering box. It's ready to go. Seeing the car out here, you know, the graphic and the look of it, it works for me. It is the toy that I always build, right? So it fits like that. It looks like it could be a small little scale model. It's got the look, right? It's definitely a cartoon machine. There are a million ways to go off-roading. I just happen to like the weird stuff. Yeah, my friend Crafty B, he does aluminum casting. He's like, oh man, I got just the badge for that ride. This car fits right in my mental state. It's got the weird mashup of parts. It's got the weird exhaust, weird artwork, a little bit of a weird roll cage. Let's roll. This rig is perfect for this environment. You know, it was built exactly for this terrain. It's gotta be able to take the rough stuff. It is excessively hot and it is brutally bumpy. So for a machine to hold together out here, it's gotta hold up to those demands. The Ranger chassis just sucks up these ruts. The manual transmission spins these tires like nobody's business. I mean, this engine I think was the optimal choice. It's got bottom end torque for days. I mean, how much more fun than that do you need? I call that a success. Feels good. It's exactly what I needed to ride around in out here. I don't know, something just struck me. I think I might have met my soulmate. This is how it's meant to look. That's why I didn't want to get crazy with the paint job. It's supposed to look dirty and desertified. I mean, dude would definitely appreciate this. Even after being out here for the whole shakedown run, this project still doesn't have a name. Definitely has something to do with dirt. I'll give it that. I gotta say, I need some chapstick and an ice-cold adult beverage after all that. What a day. It's time to have a little more fun. I got my friend Alan out here for a drive, and I got some fresh meat in the queue. An oldie but a goodie for sure. This is our next project.
Oh man, got me sweating over here.
The old 1931 jalopy trick. It's complete. Great driving car.
Sure beats riding a horse.
I can't imagine what it was like.
He got on the little road and the little path there and he's gunning it. This little 4-cylinder is pushing all it's got.
One of my old friends has wanted to build a hot rod for a long time. He found this Model A and dropped it off at the shop. He's really particular about the style and era he's looking for, but I think there's still a lot of room for envisioning.
Does he know what you do on this show?
Talk about the nostalgia ride.
I'm telling you. Dude, this thing is rad. Like it screams rad.
I mean, when you look at this iconic Model A, right now, in 2023, it looks like Grandpa's parade car, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
nice antique. We were discussing, like, post-war hot rod, like, take it all the way back. Take it back to when it was, or could have been first modified. What a kid would have done when he inherited the family truckster back in the day. They would chop the top, they would channel them, then came the Z frames,
Right.
It goes on and on. But I was thinking, to keep this car, you know, still in that vein of like piece of history and not like a full race car.
Right.
Just strip it down and hop it up, baby.
I like hot rods.
Yeah, me too. As far as this car goes, it looks like somebody should be driving Miss Daisy to the market in it. Fortunately for me, I'm not much of a parade goer, so I think this car can come apart. And obviously start by taking all the accessories and fenders off.
Oh, yeah.
Take the bumpers off, take the lights off, maybe leave the door handles. That's the name of the game, right? Keep it light and lean.
This is a homemade spacer made out of wood, so.
I heard that all the wood in these cars were the actual shipping crates in the factory. Mr. Ford said, it's good wood, make the floors out of that, all the shipping boxes.
Oh, wow.
I knew I was in the right business. Even the pioneers were into recycling and repurposing. The body is definitely taken off on this car because it's got nice undercoat under here. I can see a couple of the pieces of the floor have been replaced because it's riveted in. It's definitely an aftermarket stamp, but no cancer. I feel like Busted Knuckle Garage is on the way.
Oh, yeah. I am.
You heard of mouse traps, that's an Allen trap.
Yeah, it sure is. Ah, this thing is heavy.
The inside of this car is so nice. Let's pull all the interior out, get rid of anything that might burn or get sparks. Yeah, oops. Because of the fact we're chopping the car, it's gonna need all new glass. It's just the price of being cool. Caveman labor, caveman results.
Dude, check out the wood framing in here. It's like brand new.
This exposed roof is exactly what we're looking for. Just like the rest of the car, it's a stripped down race car, bottom line. The aesthetic is the function. A little bit better. This one was a little more successful. Awesome. All right, man, after this, no modern tools, right? That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Yeah, looks like you're there.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, man, let's get this thing out in the breeze. Take a look.
All right.
Just stripping down the car is what gets us in the ballpark. But what we do from here will really sell the concept. This is totally interesting because it's the exact opposite of what we do.
Right.
Typically, we mock stuff up, we pile things, come up with ideas, and all we did here was reduce, reduce.
Oh, I know. Two totally different worlds.
All right, man, it's time to lower the altitude of this thing.
How low can he go?
After a lot of looking and some thinking, Alan and I agree, a 4-inch chop will take us in the right direction.
So what are you thinking about the back? Are we just gonna go straight through it?
Deciding on how much to chop is only half the enchilada. The real spice is how do you cut it out. Let's drop the window 1.5 inches. What do you think about that? Because look how much up it is. So from this black, from the black edge to this little trim detail is 1 5/8.
Okay, I see.
What if we matched it?
Ooh, pre-thinking.
So we could drop the window 1 1/4 and end up with the same proportion of the black line.
That would look nice.
But again, looking back at this, just looking, look, the back window's up for sure.
It does look higher.
So let's drop that window 1 1/4, and then we'll chop it the rest through the center. 2 3/4, we'll chop the glass.
So this went from a simple additional problem to a geometry problem real quick.
That's the way I see things, man.
Here we go. The simple way of doing it would have just been cut it straight through the window. Your window would have shrank, and that's what normally people do. He wants to pull the back window down a little bit to be level with the other windows, and to me, it's just genius. Man, I think this is the most well thought out build we've ever done.
Well, let's not get carried away, man. You know who you're working with, right? See, it does cut pretty efficiently. Oh, it's gonna take some effort, man.
It sounds so painful.
Ow, ow, ow. All right, I'm gonna let you make some progress.
Sweet. I think Ian bought used hacksaws because that thing was so hard to saw through.
Hey, Alan, that was a great idea to do this traditional style, huh?
I'm feeling it now. But that's why when you meet them, oh man, they got these huge forearms, you know.
Freaking Popeye arms.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's no way.
It's nothing like taking a little time to sit back and think about our forefathers. Yep. All the progress they made from simple hand tools to what our society's evolved into today. Oh, who let the cameras in here? Hey, the traditional thing was Alan's idea.
There we go.
Nothing speaks the truth like a real-life mock-up. It's time to set this sucker on and see what we come up with.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh, that's a chopped Model A right there.
That's the look right there.
Definitely not the way Henry Ford would have did it, but that's the way I would do it. That's proper.
The driver's door looks really good. The back window is perfectly shaped. See the neat part when you see this,
Yeah.
it matches
flows
all the way
right
around.
through.
Right.
This little trick with the back window really pays off when it's set back in place. For whatever reason, the Model A had sort of a raised up back window in the panel, and by doing the chop the way we did, they all kind of stay around the bottom of the belt line.
This looks so natural,
Yeah, it looks correct.
like it belongs.
We still got a couple more things to do before we're race ready. I'm really happy with the overall layout of this, dude. Little rake in the front suspension maybe, but it's aggressive looking. I know you want to gas weld this. I know you're dying to, but think about it. You got this nice interior, the smoke's gonna be going up into the chicken wire, and the spark gets in there. It's just a freaking cookout, man.
My elbows are sore from the hacksaw.
Yeah.
I thought I could just rough it out. I thought about the grandfathers that were doing it back in the day. No.
I gotta tell you, holding that hacksaw for 5 minutes really makes me appreciate the modern conveniences. For just setting this off, I'm gonna put these little backer strips. So you got these little gaps here. If you were TIG welding or gas welding, you'd be able to just work through that, but since we're using the MIG, I'm just gonna back it. It's gonna be really strong. This technique is a little bit different than the fly by the seat of our pants technique. It feels so elegant and refined. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. It might be the oldest trick in the book. It's the oxyacetylene torch. You can heat with this, you can cut with it, you can weld with it. It's got all different attachments, all different torches. Pretty much you could build a car with this. Back in the day, that's kind of what they would do. They would have a hammer and a chisel, a couple wrenches, and one of these. Ye old fire axe. And it's gonna fuse it right into the sheet metal. In these corners, there's a little bit of adjustment to be made. So he's gonna end up gas welding right through, but as he works it, he's gonna hammer and dolly that right into shape, like a boss. I'm gonna be on fire patrol. Yes, sir.
Pre-war, there was no rod, just a torch by itself. And then after the war, they ended up adding the rod because it made your weld stronger. For us to use that same method, it's just so, humbling. It's probably the hardest thing with this is like you heat it up, you have to keep control of the metal because it's constantly moving as you heat it.
So what happens is that he heats it, it expands. As it's constricting, he forces it into shape, and he's ultimately, you see how big a gap it is on this side? He's working that out to a flush panel. You see, with the MIG weld, your heat-affected zone is that big, right?
Right.
with the torch.
And
It's all over the place. Next up is the back window frame, new and improved. Window glass is 2 3/4 smaller, and the windows dropped 1 1/4.
See, that's very tasteful. It's done very tastefully.
That's
you
the
know?
story of my life, Alan. Very tasteful. I've never built a bad tasting car. Whew. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the back window. We're just gonna take all this welding very slow. We get no shrink, no muss, no fuss. Alan and I finished up all the welding. We got our sanding on, and the body's looking pretty good. Thinking about the next step, like as much as I really like low cars, I'm just not really feeling a channel for this build. Yeah, I mean, if you channel it too, then the axle's coming up, you're gonna start cutting the body here, you're cutting the floor out. You know, I love this seat, so, you know, the suspension, everything comes up into the car.
No, I get it. The rumble seat, super rad. Most people have to sacrifice it once they start cutting them up. So it's cool that we'll be able to keep it.
Yeah, we just won't be wearing our tall hat when we drive it, but everything else is Model A.
Screams maturity.
What? Don't ever use that word again. I got a few more tricks up my conservative sleeve. Looking at these side pans, I got a few ideas that'll really meld them in nice with the rest of the car. Right now, they're just sheet metal edge. They're razor sharp. Maybe you want to take this round rod and just edge this. Just tack it all on there. That way it's a nice finished edge, and we could put a little filler on it and have a nice rollout off of the sheet metal surface.
Oh, yeah. Now that brings the sexy into it. I think we should trim it to like meet up with the rear wheel well.
Oh, that's a good idea, for sure. Right. That line comes straight down instead of just to the back of that. If you want to set that up, I'm going to trim this windshield. The first step is to just take these hole measurements, bring them down 4 inches on everything. One of the challenges when you do have parameters on the creativity, it's just like, okay, well, instead of thinking outside the box, you got to do like as much as you can inside the box, which is a challenge in itself. Mini window. That's the thing, we didn't chop it like the top. I just took the, yeah, where that screws together.
Dude, that's badass.
Just how Mr. Ford intended it. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. That looks great.
Like how it follows the rear wheel opening,
Yes.
comes down.
It adds to it 100%. Just thinking with these headlights, we're gonna do this classic hot rod thing also, because we don't have any fenders for this to bolt onto.
Right.
If we bolt it to the car, like right there, and then I take the rod, so you're heating right here, I take the rod and bend it, and then boom, the headlight is facing where it's supposed to.
In theory, you know, it sounds like it would work.
I was hoping this idea would be met with a little more optimism. Alan wants the old tools. I mean, what's more caveman than bending stuff by hand? I tell you, sometimes it's a tough room in here. Maybe I'll look to you. Custom.
That's awesome. That's a first for me right there.
Put your tongue on that, see how hot it is. Just looking at pictures of the old hot rods, the headlights always appeared to be dropped down, which I thought gave it a really aggressive look. And then using the stock stuff and repurposing it, that's cool. Blacksmith 101, baby.
I'm learning.
I wish we had the same color lens. We're gonna have to work on that.
Let's get that full visual.
Yeah, man. How's it looking?
It looks good to me.
There's something about it when you drop the headlights
Yeah.
like that. It just looks like super cool.
That's traditional hot rod in 101 right there. Like, you can't get any more traditional than that. That's working with what you got and making it look good.
Yeah, as much as I love that antique two-tone paint job, I think getting this to one tone, let's just see how it feels.
A little primer here, a little primer there. We'll be soapbox racing in no time.
For sure. Classy, baby. Well, all right, Alan had to say farewell. He's got a real job to take care of, but we got this thing in primer. It's looking good. Body panels were very straight. Probably the biggest bodywork project on this was getting these two pans to look like one piece because they had a seam in here somewhere. This is starting to get aggressive. Getting this car into primer really helps move it into the hot rod realm. It doesn't look like Grandpa's parade car anymore. I was kind of ruminating on gauges in it, and I want to kind of upgrade the interior, make it look a little bit, different than the other guy's car. And I've done all kinds of weird dashboard arrangements, but this is a pretty lean hot rod. Back in the day, I would have been thumbing through the Speedway catalog and would like, that's the part right there. So I ordered one. So this is a 32 style dash that literally just bolts right into the Model A. I got some gauges. They're the old style Stuart Warner. This one goes up to 160. That's pretty optimistic in my book, but hey, it leaves room at the back end for further progression. The other arrangement here, the dashboard is just a little chrome thing attached to the gas tank. What this would do would raise the electric stuff off the tank and set it up here. It's got me thinking like, well, what would a dashboard have, right? Would it have a glove box? I mean, if you could just choose anything for your dashboard, would it have an opening panel that the Model A simply does not offer? This is just me thinking out loud. Obviously, front row and center, no doubt, you're gonna have the big gauge. You're gonna have accessories. And I have a part of another car, and I'm thinking glove box, right? So this is one of the last pieces of that Nash Metropolitan, the little car. It's got a glove box door that I just couldn't resist. Does that not look like a pretty close fit? I got 2 words, I'm gonna make it one. Nash Dash. The whole thing about this Nash Metropolitan was just, it wasn't like the candidate for customization as it was, but the parts are so quirky, I've spread them out over a number of projects. This is the moment this entire project has been leading up to. Will the glove box fit? This is the mini glove box technique. I only pull it out once every decade or so, but when I do, it's a ride. It's all fun when you get started in a relationship and then you realize there's work to be done. The romance wears off, you realize the hinge isn't actually gonna work. Tiny glove box. Already, this is pretty satisfying, it's gonna work. It's a mashup of 2 very different cars in a very in-the-box parameter. Nice tight fit. That way it doesn't go shaking around. Let's do that 4 times more. Smoking. So even though this layout of the gauges looks good in my opinion, one thing I wasn't considering is that stock piece of the gas tank is in the way. And when that comes in, look, it's right there. That gauge is not gonna fit. And then these over here are still really tight against the gas tank. The cowl, this is the gas tank. You put the gas in here. This fuel gauge, it's like a sight glass almost. You're looking into the fluid level. I'm thinking maybe just cut out this entire section. Just get an aftermarket tank, set it in the back where it's a little more protected. And I mean, imagine this in a front-end collision. Being that it is partial structure of the car, instead of removing the gas tank, I'm just going to cut out a portion. And this car hasn't had fuel in it since we put it in the garage. This thing is 100% dried out, so I'm confident cutting it won't be a problem. Do not cut your gas tank if there's fuel in or around it. That there is the inside of a gas tank. Yeah, now you got all this room for the gauges. This goes right back in place. I'm sure you've asked yourself a million times, why is it called a glove box? Because you put your gloves right there. Look at that. Once the new tank arrives, I'll wire it up, plumb it, and this puppy will be ready to hit the gas station. It's all part of the master plan. Looking at the dashboard, I gotta say, looks classy, but definitely a little different. I'd say period correct. Next, a couple more aesthetic details, and we're just about ready for cruise night. Back in the day, you take your tiny little gloves and put them in a tiny little glove box. Another fun fact from Honest Ian's Glove Box Historical Society. I'm gonna need a bigger glove box. One of the last necessary and cosmetic things is, of course, taillights and the license plate. Fenders had the license plate bracket with taillight on one side and a taillight on the other. That's all gone now. With the traditional hot rods, typically you see it right here in the rear pan. And the name of the game with any hot rod is stripped down and lean, you know, less is more type of thing. The way Alan and I treated the front headlights was all business, very simple. Officer probably won't give you a ticket. Same thing with the taillights. You want to have your race car street legal. I'm going to center the license plate first and see what dimension works best for the placement of the taillights. There's a couple different license plates that could go on this. This is from '63. The older ones are a little bigger, but I'm just basically coming up with a layout. If I do use a wider license plate, like the older style, I'm just going to set these a little bit wide. The wider plate won't make it look kind of bunched towards the center. I think that's the number right there. In case you haven't noticed, it's a little warm out. I learned this trick on that movie, Predator. He used the Bic shaver to do exactly like this. Whew, it's hot. The last thing is the little mounting for the license plate. Naturally, we'll be using locking hardware in the end. That's a good placeholder. What's not to like about that? That's tasty, classic design. This is exactly the look. You look at any picture in the little magazines for back in the day, this could be one of those cars. All that work has led up to pretty much the blank slate scenario. And it's obviously transformed from that parade car. The chop gives it some attitude, but the wheels and tires are what's gonna sell the concept. Part of the stance, the attitude of these cars is like having a little rake in the front. Without modifying the suspension, you would do a rubber rake. You'd have big tires in the back and smaller in the front. So I'm just trying to figure out like what's actually gonna work on the car. Not only looking at the rim width, backspace, dimensions, I'm looking at the tires, the style, from bias ply to the pie crust, I mean, to white wall or not too white wall. There's a lot of options. So we got all these fine examples. Let's take off that back tire and see what's going on. So that's what I was describing. That's quite the large circle. Just for mocking up, I know that these don't fit the bolt pattern. This is a GM rim. It's a good look. The tread is saying more 1960s, 70s, but it's a 15-inch rim with a wide white wall. It's quite the attitude adjustment. Looks better already. Front tires are definitely too fat, really wide. The backs, they're looking on point though. This one with the cutout center, I wonder if that'll get on the bolt pattern like it's supposed to. That just makes it. Yeah, something about the black rims with black tires, pretty aggressive. And rumor has it that the Ford truck rims from the mid-late 60s fit this. Look at that. That is evolution right there. That's a pretty fat tire to be period correct, but tell me it doesn't look good. Just a quick floor jack session and a bunch of wheels, you could see so many different styles represented, and they've pretty much all been used on a Model A. Those rims in the front are pretty much ideal. For a front rim, you could just get a little thinner tire. Maybe I'm on the hunt for a pair of 16s, because those look darn perfect. Yeah, you can see the contrast pretty clearly now. It's like two different worlds. I got a little thinking, a little parts gathering to do, but that's only half the story. The other half of the story is about the paint. Just like with all the theorizing of the chop, etc. on this project, the paint choice is going to say everything as well. I mean, every part of the project makes a statement. If you paint that car black, people are going to respond one way. Paint it pink, they're going to respond a whole different way. The overall end game in the paint is just to make it look like it belongs, right? Kind of like the rest of the car, we won't know the story until it's ready for its maiden voyage. You give me some toner and a gallon of white vintage flats and the party's just getting started. Hey. Got that Model A tidied up and ready for the shakedown run. Now the car has got an attitude. I mean, it's the same old thing inside, but now you're ready to race. You have to be hunched down because it's that low. There's a lot to be said for starting with a decent vehicle. I mean, this thing We only did sheet metal work too. Mechanically, it's bone stock. It's still turnkey, runs perfect. The entire inspiration for this was the traditional hot rod from the 40s. So back in the day, there was no aftermarket stuff. And of course, first order of business was always strip off the extra weight. The headlights set just right there. The chop is just very aggressive. For a basically stock car, it's got a ton of attitude. Had the glass cut and glued in properly. The windows roll up and down. Front window opens as it should. I'm really satisfied with the size of the back window. I feel like that perimeter line of the windows coming through and into that back, if it was any smaller, it would start to look cramped. I think it really gives a balanced look. That's my job. People come to me and say, hey, what would you do to make this car unique? How about a mini glove box? I got one trick. It works perfect. You can access all the areas in the tank that we cut out. This is a really nice change of pace. For what Alan and I started with was a really, really correct, nice car. So to do this, I think, in my opinion, it only enhanced it. I love the fact that we kept the rumble seat. It's such a small car inside. You're gonna wanna take a couple friends to get a burger. Hey, hop in the back, grab on those handles and let's go. A lot of times at this point of the project, I'm standing in front of something that looks like it came off of another planet, right? This thing is classic, iconic Americana. And I think I fit right in. It's change of pace. It's just so interesting to think about when I started my career, I was building cars to kind of thumb my nose at the people with these cars, right? And now here I am, 20 years later, gray-haired and ailing, wishing for one of those cars. I gotta say, another project in the books, another satisfied customer. Well, at least I'm satisfied. That's enough. There's just something to be said for the real deal, and I didn't know until I actually drove a 1931 hot rod. Nothing like it. I'm going for another ride. Put the word out, I'm looking for some new projects. Right away, my buddy Tom hits me up. He says, hey, my friend Bob and I, we got a project. Come on out and see what we're doing. That's a Buick, right? With the portholes on the side?
Yeah, it's a 55 Buick. Yeah, I've always got a bunch of projects lying around. Probably too many. Got it from my dad, I guess. You know, he was always into hot rods and motorcycles and things like that. That's where I got the bug from.
So this thing is cool, man. We could totally work with this.
It's a lot of fun watching Ian walk around like a kid in a candy store, looking at all these different cars that could be potential projects.
Right behind it, across the driveway, is this early 70s Pontiac. This is cool.
Yeah, it's the Uniroyal Thrill Driver stunt car, Joey Chitwood. They used to jump them through hoops of fire.
Right,
and
at the fairgrounds,
yeah,
they do all
exactly.
kinds of tricks.
They had stunt drivers, Uni, Roy, and Al. This is Uni. The other two cars, I understand, are gone. So this one's kind of got some history to it.
I've never built one of these cars. I'm intrigued. You know, if Bob wants to jump through the flaming hoop of fury at 150 miles an hour, he's called the right guy. We can make this happen. Interesting project, man. I can't wait to get started on this thing.
This isn't it. He seems pretty excited about everything that's around here, but he hasn't seen my hot rod yet.
So I don't recognize this truck shell. Is a Dodge?
Nope, International.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited to see what Ian thinks of the work we've done and the work that needs to be done.
I've done a bunch of international stuff. This is old though, like what, 30?
Early to mid-30s.
Walking up on this project, Tom's giving me the spiel, hot rod, etc. But I see it was set out in this pasture for a reason. It's definitely a basket case. Oh man, what's up with the back wall?
There should be a window here.
You ain't kidding.
Right, but it was apparent. It looked like it had been in a wreck. There was a pretty big dent, and the sheet metal was wavy, so it had to go. It's an old farm truck, you know.
I see. The wild card with any old project is the damage or the rust, or the damage and the rust in most cases. And this truck's got a good dose of both. It's not even there to debate. It's pretty rough.
I know it's pretty rough, but what do you think?
In this, I can see the potential already, right away. But is there more? I mean, cars, they come with like 3 or 4 tires. You got a cab and a bed and a cat. Look at this thing.
So Ian's like, where's the rest of it? And that's when I get really excited, because This is what Bob and I have been working on for some time, and I'm really excited to see what Ian thinks about it.
Oh, so you guys aren't kidding around.
Nope.
This is cool.
Thank you.
Right on. You know, I deal with a lot of pipe dreamers, you know, guys with a piece of metal and a dream, but
Right.
I didn't realize you guys are already nailing it. You've been on this for a while.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I was hoping to see. Now we're talking cars. So I don't recognize the frame. What did this come from? You built it or?
This is custom built.
Nice.
Tommy and I have been building this chassis for quite a while, off and on. We were kind of at a standstill on it. We reached the point to do the body work, and I don't do body work.
Hot Rod Bob, he's been doing this for quite a long time. He knows what he's doing. He's one of those guys that you can learn a lot from.
This is the easy part for me, but that body work, are you sure that thing's hammered?
Well, I mean, I can definitely handle the sheet metal work. If this thing runs and drives, we're in business. You guys got a deal.
All right, cool, great.
That cab is pretty rough. You know, we got a lot of work ahead of us, but I need to take a closer look. Now, class, there are a number of things wrong with the back of this truck. So right here, you can see it's out right here. That's a lot, right? And on this side is the exact opposite, so you got the roller coaster effect. If I was to follow this line with the sheet metal, this is what it'd be doing. It's like way the heck out of shape. Not really sure if Tom knows how far gone this truck is. So the good news is I got a plan, but the not so great news is that instead of just putting this wall in and fixing the window, we kind of got to rehab the back third of the truck. There was numerous impacts. Instead of just putting in a window, let's just fix the whole back of the truck. It's gonna be way better for it. We'll clean all this crud out of here and we'll make it nice. It's never too late to shop it. That's the whole idea here, you know what I'm saying? So once I start working my influence and my hypnotizing ways. How many fingers am I holding up, right? You're going left, you're going right.
No chop.
Going down a hall, you're turning left, you're turning right. Bottom line is we need to create a whole new rear panel by any means necessary. When you're dealing with someone's prized possession, their passion, the last thing they want to see you do is go at it with a frickin' knife. It's like they're thinking, oh, good times. No, that's later on. Right now it's war. It's like visiting the dentist. Don't be nervous.
Oh, man. Yeah, but even the dentist is painful.
Open your mouth. All right, so now we're gonna do a little tar paper template lesson.
Tar paper?
My neighbor was putting a roof on his shed, so last night I did a little shopping. He was done, you know, he didn't need that.
Okay.
Tar paper isn't your typical template material, but it works, and you gotta use what's available.
Man, if I mess it up, I'll just blame Ian.
I can tell Tom has concerns. You just gotta work through it.
Ian's a go type of guy, man. He just jumps right in and he starts getting to work. And it's a little bit hard to keep up with him. All right, so why do we put a square tube down here at the bottom and what's with the rod? But I'm trying. So this isn't gonna look like I've got some beaded line going on.
I just gotta say this. You're the most inquisitive client I've ever worked with. You're hitting all the bullet point questions and I appreciate that.
Good. Well, I'm asking questions because, you know, I'm concerned, I'm curious.
The whole idea with this is you start with a little oversized and trim it back. So this is the story. I mean, the challenging part is this one corner, but the center just falls into place. So you see what you're getting, right?
Oh yeah. You'd think that going this method would be all choppy and archaic looking, but this is already looking smooth.
That's totally a contender. I mean, that's the right window for the truck. The only issue is, just like the back wall, this thing is all smashed. Both of these panels, we're gonna have to straighten. I mean, and if you reverse it, the theoretical flat side on here, you can see it's way out. That's like an inch off.
I can see how bad it is. It's really out of shape. You know, I mean, I like it. I love it because it is the original window.
I can tell Tom's really set on this window frame. Let's see how bad this thing really is. Let's use some envisioning tape. I put this stuff on everything.
Think that center?
Once the envisioning tools come out, it gets kind of serious. What do you think, higher, lower?
Right there, stop. So Ian takes that back window frame and puts it up against the back of the cab with some tape. Yep, it's not looking right.
I mean, the window looks good, but it is bent. It's totally out of shape.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
There's always a porthole, man. I know that thing is perfectly round.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Look at this arch here, and look at this. Tell me it doesn't look like it's out of shape completely.
A little over 9 inches, about 9 3/8 right there. And then we come here, we're almost to 10.
That's what I'm seeing. It's just whacked out.
I'm really hoping that Ian can pull some tricks out of his hat to make this thing better.
The good news is we can fix that thing. I got a plan.
You got a plan?
Yeah. About to get medieval on this.
Yeah.
When a piece of metal gets bent, especially sheet metal, the molecules, they get rearranged. It wants to stay in that shape. Heating it up with the torch anneals it. It makes it soft again.
Is this one of the tricks that he has in his hat? I don't know, but I mean, it looks like something that came out of a barbecue. It doesn't look like a good idea.
As well as annealing it also tends to burn it up. That does not concern me. The steel isn't burning. All the crud that's on it is. It looks pretty rough.
Are you sure this is gonna work? What do you mean? Dude, you roasted my window.
This is a pretty unique shape we're dealing with here. So the next step is to make a little dolly tool that we can hammer the thing back into shape with. Red on that side?
Yes, red.
Hi-ya! Dink. Looks pretty darn close, eh? The idea here is when you're away from your shop, sometimes you gotta improvise. You see that dent anywhere?
Yeah, man, it's
Dent
gone.
disappeared.
Man, it was a totally unorthodox way of going about it, but it worked. Ian managed to straighten out this window frame.
Wow, man, you did it. Look at that.
Done. Tom is super stoked. It's looking good. Now it's just all about the welding. It's the scariest part of sheet metal fabrication is your potential to warp it. The way this is set up, I'm just making every effort to minimize the warpage. Hiya!
Wow.
It's not as good as the porthole, but it's pretty good.
No, man, this is better than the porthole. It's such a relief to see it fit back in there.
Man, that looks like a truck. It's a good looking window, man. Good call. Tom's pretty psyched. I want to put that cab back on the chassis and see what else he's thinking about. That looks a little bit better, man, for sure.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Seeing it back on the chassis, it's really cool. I'm kind of tripping out.
With the back wall there now, you really get that feeling of how raked it is. I really like the stance. Everything that Tom and Bob have done so far is really good. The one thing though, the back wall's totally outshining the rest of the rig now.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, hey, I'm a back wall. I'm brand new. I'm an old truck. I got a couple ideas for this bed. There's a huge hole in it. Number one, that's all that's bugging me is that, you got your gear. Typically you throw your stuff in the truck.
Yeah, to be honest, I really didn't think about what was gonna happen back here. I don't know, I'd like to see what you have in mind.
I think we should make literally a trunk section here and then cap it. Put a tonneau cover right at this level. That way you can secure it. Nobody's getting at your battery, nobody's getting at your gas tank, nobody's getting at your goods.
I see what you're saying. It definitely will make it look more of a finished product if there's something going on here.
Let's do something steel as a storage bin, and then anything goes on top as long as it fits your aesthetic of what the truck's gonna be. I'll work on that sheet metal stuff, and then whatever you can come up with on this bed cover.
Wow.
Made some progress, sir.
Geez, I guess. Wow, dang, look at that.
So that helps it out quite a bit.
That's
huh?
gorgeous. The rest looks like heck, but that's nice.
Bob came in and he was jazzed. I explained our plan. I got this idea for the shape here, you know, to accommodate these mechanical parts. So if you guys can figure out something for this cover, I'll work on getting this trunk area set up.
I did a little sheet metal work back at my shop.
So I was thinking it's gonna set right on that cross member and weld right to the frame here. And we'll just put some sides on, so you got this big hollowed out area.
Nice.
The idea with this is it's just a storage spot in the bed. You know, I wanted to get it all set up so that I could finish it off today.
This is super basic. I just put this on the sheet metal brake, did a series of folds, and you see I put some little X's in there just to give it some rigidity. And I didn't put walls on it in case we had to change the shape a little, you know.
Oh man, this is gonna work. Oh wow, this trunk that Ian built in the back of the bed, it's really cool. It's gonna come in handy. Yeah, Bob and I, we went and picked a couple things out of the yard for possible cover.
Yeah, let's check that out. This can go in at any time.
I was curious to see what they got for bed cover options.
Yeah, check this out.
There's a car hood, right?
Yeah, 68 Mercury Montclair.
It's a big car hood.
It's got a pretty cool body line on it. That might,
That's kind of neat. I did a roof of a hot rod with something similar to this. It was a Mustang hood. I mean, if you like it, you know, to extend this would be a little challenge. You know, you'd have some body work and whatnot if you wanted this detail to come through. Inspector seems concerned. There's a lot of noise from the peanut gallery.
yeah, no, is it a no?
There's that stink eye. What do you think? Doesn't seem very enthused, man.
No.
He's a lot happier walking in. All of a sudden, it took a nosedive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no on this, but I got one more option I want you to check out.
Okay.
I wasn't really sure if it would work, but I figured I'd throw it out there.
The old picnic table. Oh, totally cool. It's wood, it's old school.
It just looks like something that would be in the back of the bed of an old truck.
What do you think about that? Better than a car hood, huh? Heavyweight, checking it out. Getting a lick of approval. See, right away, you know. That's a good call.
He's really into it, and typically when he likes something, he's not afraid to show it.
It was his idea. Give him the action.
I prefer the wood in the bed, and dude liked it too. I'd say we're soulmates, but I'm pretty sure that's him and Ian, and so we're just good pals.
That's a keeper.
I think we're going with this. They say the dog and his master, you know, tend to really become one, you know, and it's true. I don't know how we communicate, because it's usually just like, we get the point across. It's crazy.
So the idea is I'll just weld this to the truck, we screw that to the plywood, and I'll weld it right in.
The whole idea with this is to hinge up from the back of the cab.
So the natural shape of this plywood, if it was screwed down, it would flatten out, but it ain't. So I think we just put some ledges under here, so that way when it hits that, it'll be kind of a pressure shut. Oh man, it looks like $100, $1 million.
Yeah, I'm glad we went this route. I like this a lot.
The real question is, what's it look like after we burn it, baby?
I'm excited to see what this is gonna look like.
Yeah, me too. I've never done this before. I just saw it happen, so.
Wait, you've never done it before? Ian says, oh, I've never done this before. And then he hands me the torch.
The whole process with this build is inclusion, you know? A client can just pay and come back when the project's completed. I like to terrorize the client, engage the client. That way they really appreciate the rewards.
Yeah, look at that.
I think the darker it gets, the better it looks. Keep it cooking it.
I should have known this was gonna happen. I'm on Ian's wild ride.
That looks pretty distressed.
This thing's fun. I actually liked it. I'm glad Ian had me do it.
Man, that looks awesome. It was pretty freaking bland, and this made it look as old as your truck itself.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
I was surprised, you know, I figured it would work. I've seen the results, but never been through the process.
Oh, wow.
That really helped the whole rear view of the truck, in my opinion. That thing is nailed.
I'm blown away, man. This was a good choice.
Couple more little bits, and you're in gear, brother.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of loose ends on this truck, and I know Tom has some ideas about the paint. We haven't really talked about it. I'm just gonna let things develop.
Oh, man.
It's getting there. My goal is to get this thing as straight as possible. That way when you go forward with the paint, we never have to go back.
Ian's giving me the task of matching the paint. I've never done this before, and I'm kind of nervous. I just want it to be done right. When you give me the go-ahead, I'll slap some paint on it, and then Scuff it up.
For sure. Well, I'll make it perfect, and then you can screw it up. It's gonna be awesome. And I got another idea for your bed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the whole thing with that bed cover, tail lights. I got one other idea I want to show you too. I was thinking how cool this bed looked. You know, just always bring it up a little bit more maybe. You know, it's wood. I thought it would just be cool to have a metal accent to kind of bring it together. Like those little slats in there are neat, but what if you had something that was even neaterer?
Okay, neater.
That was even coolerer. But if you put that in there, all of a sudden, it transforms.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the mixture of metal and wood.
Tom had to hit the road, so Bob and I are still trucking. You know, we're gonna keep this thing going.
Since it runs well, might as well have it look nice.
Hey, back window, clean engine, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards.
Yeah.
Bob was cleaning up the engine, and I wanted to finish off this storage area in the bed. To fit this up just on the fly like I'm doing is a lot of testing, you know. Put it in place, mark it, react to that.
This is my improvised sheet metal brake.
I consider one of my greatest assets to work like a caveman.
Set up your line, set up a big old hunk of steel, and then clamp it.
It's a pleasure working with Ian, and watching Ian work, I've kind of thought to myself, I need to learn this stuff. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's sweet.
Yeah, I'd make a heck of a cooler.
Yeah.
I have no concerns about the structural integrity of this thing. And I know Tom has some ideas about the paint. We haven't really talked about it. I'm just gonna let things develop.
Hey,
Yo-ho,
man,
it's happening, baby.
you got a lot done.
Yeah, it's totally body work. Primer is dry, ready to rock, whatever you want to do.
Well, speaking of paint,
Yeah.
I've got an idea. I took this panel to the paint shop,
Right,
and I had them match this green right here,
right.
and loaded it up in some rattle cans, right? And see how it's all nice and patinaed, got a little bit of white and some ruddy red.
Right.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna layer the paint, then coat it in the green, and then I'm gonna hit it with some sandpaper, some Scotch-Brite, and try to get this,
Like faux finish.
yeah, exactly.
That's a cool idea.
Ultimately, my goal is to make it look like nothing has ever happened to this pickup van.
Yeah, if you can match this to what you got going on, then nobody will ever consider that this back wall was even messed with, which is kind of neat. I'm interested to see how this develops.
Tom's just got the style, you know? He's like the Fred Astaire of the paint world, you know? He's got a flow, he's got a rhythm, he's dancing it. Pretty interesting process.
So I'm gonna start by just making a frame out of this square steel.
This truck's been around a while. There's been a lot of different hands in the process. So someone's changed the center of the windshield upper portion for some reason, and it's really misaligned.
You know, you want the top of the windshield to be straight because there's gonna be a hinge up here. Look how far off that is.
Yeah, somebody hit that with a grinder.
That's way out, yeah.
Just like most things I fabricate, I start with a template and then I make a final piece. So this steel part I'm making is the template for the aluminum frame that's gonna be there in the end.
So now you can really see, you know, that little gap difference. I'm gonna take this whole thing out, but that's perfect. I'll make one more of these and then just put it together. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the point where I become concerned. That's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Making the aluminum frame in the end is pretty specialized. I have the big TIG welder at my shop, so this isn't a job to be done on location. The template I can bring back, come back with the new one.
That's the shape of the windshield frame, and it's even as opposed to the truck. Whoa! It's like St. Patrick's Day up in here. Look at that green. That is hideous.
It's gonna be a process. And yeah, I hope it works.
Hey, I'm gonna cut apart your truck once more, so.
Again?
It's gonna make the windshield a little better. This front angle iron, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna make a whole new mount for the windshield.
Brought the template back to my shop and made the same windshield frame shape out of aluminum C-channel. Put an aluminum piano hinge on it and showed it to Tom.
So while you're doing all that scratching and scuffing, I got your window frame.
Awesome.
Got a little hinge on there, and then that fits right up in here.
Oh, nice.
The advantage of making an aluminum windshield frame is that it looks cool. You know, when somebody looks at it and you say, oh yeah, it's hand built, you know, it just gets extra points with the judges. So we'll put a lot more screws in, but proof is in the test. Does it close?
It shuts.
Not too bad for some old scrap aluminum.
That looks great, man.
So you can see how flimsy it is. What I really want to do is, in addition to putting glass in here, I'll put the knobs on there and then the little sliders, so you could set it, you know, I mean, if you wanted, you could set it way out here.
Now, I love it when Ian does something outside the box or really extra cool. He's taking my build up just an extra level.
We're definitely hustling this, man. It's gonna happen for sure. We just got a couple more details, assembly, modifications, and this baby's ready to rock.
Tom's club event is only a couple days away. We got a bunch of assembly to do. I got a couple surprises. You know, we got to get things finished. Tom really pulled off this paint job. He's been working overtime. Brought it out here to Hot Rod Bob's compound, his testing facility. It's looking good.
I feel great, man. I look at the truck and it's like I can't stop looking at it. It's so cool looking. Yeah, I got these mufflers from Porter and I think they look great and they sound fantastic.
It's all about the details in the end. He's got the grille all finished, the headlights installed, the rims are powder coated. This looks awesome, dude. I mean, the patina is something I wasn't expecting at all.
Right,
It's freaking cool. Everything about this truck came together like really clean, man.
Yeah.
You know? The clincher for our deadline was this car club meet that Tom's been talking about. He's invited everybody over. Today is the day, and the truck is here.
The Defenders Car Club, man, it's just a great bunch of people. Yeah, there it is. Check it out. They've seen the truck from the beginning. They've seen it when it was just a rusty cab and bed and had no hope.
I remember the day you got it. You were like all proud of it. We're all going,
It's really cool to see their reaction to the truck, you know. They're walking around it, they're checking it out. Yeah, Ian built this trunk area in here.
Oh, it's a great little truck.
And we're getting the thumbs up from everybody.
I think the biggest satisfaction of getting this build together is the fact that it really does look like a timepiece. It looks like nothing ever happened to this truck, which is pretty different for me. It's kind of awesome.
Oh, I love it. I just like the stance and the looks of it. It's got the right look for what I like as far as a hot rod. The truck actually has history, so that's pretty cool to put that back on the road and have it keep some of its original look to it.
I heard there was going to be a race. We came here on a mission. There's a reason we came to the racetrack. Tom wants to race Bob, or maybe Bob wants to race Tom. I don't know how it's going to work out, but there's two cars here, and they're going in the dirt. There's no time like the present. Now, I want you to remember one thing. Go that way really fast.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna win or anything, you know, but it'll be a lot of fun to just get out there with him and tear it up.
I know he doesn't stand a chance. I have a little bit of practice on this track.
I'm here strictly for moral support. It's like a parent raising their child. I've done all they can, and now it's time to set them free.
I'm having fun. I'm all in it. I'm going for it, and then nothing.
This is just par for the course. You know, it's a maiden voyage. It runs great in the driveway. You start slamming it around the dirt, there's gonna be a fail rate.
Here I am. I just built this hot rod pickup. I'm out here having fun with it. I got all my friends watching. The truck dies on me.
That is dry. Yeah. Tap on the float balls to see if it helps. Something. Don't be so traumatized, man. I've been doing this for 20 years plus. This is typical.
Come to find out, it was the fuel cap, not venting. So fix that, and runs great.
The truck fires right back up, and I'm back in it.
All right, champ. Now, I don't want this little setback to get you down. We're still in the race, man. I got some leeway with the referees, and they're going to give you a timeout on this one. And I think we can come back stronger than before. The thing here is all attitude. You know, you can't get rattled.
Ian's being a really good pit boss, and I'm digging it. I'm loving the help.
This is the vintage race that you read about. 34 Internationals racing a Model A Ford. I mean, this is cool old-time stuff.
Yeah, that's how you do it, man.
So I get out there on the track, you know, the first couple laps, and I'm loving it, man. I'm learning what the truck can do and what it's responding to. I'm loving this truck, man. I can't stop saying it. I really do. I love it.
Tom pulls in and he's all smiles. The truck's running good, sounds good, it's looking good.